All right, good afternoon. It is 1:17 here on this Saturday, and guess what we're talking about? More rain here. We're doing this on all of our live platforms, whether it be Facebook, YouTube, on our app. So we'll get a few more people in here. We're going to talk about what we've got moving on through the area this afternoon and when it's going to clear on out, because we do have a lot at the end of the tunnel here. We've just got about 12 more hours of this before we do start to finally dry on out. You can see there lots of light to moderate rainfall across the area. If you're in New Orleans, we've had rain in and out. We do have our street flood advisory, and that's just for some minor street flooding that's ongoing and possible. We haven't had any widespread reports of street flooding, just the usual spots. But that goes until 3 p.m. and it does include the entire New Orleans metro. It includes St. Charles Parish, Luling-Boutie, down towards Thibodaux and Gray and towards Raceland. It does not include Houma, but that goes until 3 p.m. You might see a little bit of minor street flooding. But the thing that's really helped us out so far with all this has been the rainfall rates. They haven't been terrible. It's been coming down, maybe at a persistent rate, but it hasn't been, nothing that we can't handle. It'll be a heavy pocket, and then we'll get a little bit lighter. That'll allow things to catch on up and drain out. I noticed some pretty heavy rainfall, some lightning down in Belle Chase, down towards Jean Lafitte and Crown Point. That's where the heaviest of this is, and it is moving towards the north and east. So this is all generally kind of drifting across us, and it is doing what we call training, right? It's moving over the same areas, but it's not that torrential downpour that's just constantly moving up over. So that's what's been fairly manageable with all this. But nonetheless, a little street flooding here and there. Also at times we've got, as I mentioned, these little heavier pockets of showers and storms, or these storms that are coming on in with it. And right now we got one from LaRose to up towards Raceland, Lockport. This could have a little hail in it. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe there's some pea-sized hail with some of these stronger cells that are moving on in, but they're moving pretty quickly. Upwards of about 30 miles per hour as they race off towards the north and east. For our friends on the North Shore, it's been a little bit quieter this morning. We've had some showers, but nothing too bad. And notice we're fairly dry. Now there's drizzle up here, but it's not really adding to anything. Maybe a little bit rainfall, a little closer to the I-12 corridor there. But for the most part, the rain and the heavy rain is south of you on the North Shore. And that's good, because our rivers need to recover, and they have been recovering a bit on the North Shore. Now down in Houma, Thibodaux, you've got more of a persistent light to moderate rainfall. Notice there's this batch of kind of yellows moving on in. That's going to be a little bit heavier, so wouldn't be surprised. Maybe you see a little street flooding here and there, but there's Houma, there's Thibodaux, and this is all up moving through the area. And unfortunately, this is not going to be the last of it. There's quite a fetch of moisture behind this. It's moving in, so we've got this one right over us right now. This is going to be here for the next couple of hours. There might be one or two breaks later this afternoon, but it looks like we'll get more excuse me, as we go into this evening. So notice we got another little batch riding up. This is south of Houston. It is moving pretty quickly, but this will get here later on this evening. So while we might have a little break here and there, it's coming back. This is going to last until probably after midnight, until the rainfall starts to end. Now, I was talking about our rainfall rates, and while we're doing pretty good at this point, I was checking streetwise here in the metro, and we've only got a couple reports of, the typical spots that get water and some flooding. But so far, where we've got that heavy rainfall down along Belle Chase, that one is dumping some pretty heavy rain, so maybe a better chance of street flooding on the West Bank right now and down towards Upper Plaquemines. Picked up a little over an inch. MSY has only picked up half an inch, and it's been raining for the past couple of hours or so. Lakefront, 3/10 of an inch. Slidell, 4/10 of an inch. That includes the overnight rainfall you saw. That wasn't too heavy. So right now, it's manageable. And it looks like for the most part our pumps are keeping up. And on any normal day, you pick up an inch of rainfall, we're usually okay. But here's why this has been such an issue. This is over the past 7 days, and these are radar estimates. The radar's estimating how much rain has fallen. And just look, there's this big bullseye right over southeast Louisiana. There's also kind of a bullseye over South Mississippi, or at least the 3 coastal counties. And anywhere you see oranges and reds, it's 6 to 10 inches of rain. So we've had 6 to 10 inches of rain widespread, 10 to 12 inches in the purple. That has certainly been the case for some. And we've even got a little white there on the map. That's over a foot of rain that has fallen in the past 7 days. Now, 2 weeks before that, or a week before this, the early part of April, we had a lot of rain too. So some areas over the past 2 weeks have picked up, nearly 20 inches of rainfall in just a few spots. So that's why we've got flooding problems, and that's why it's just not taking much to get street flooding and river flooding. problems either. Now, if you're watching us on the North Shore, our rivers, they were starting to improve, and this was about an hour or two ago when these were updated. But the Bogafly, it was rising slowly this morning, but no longer expected to get in that moderate flood stage. It should stay minor, and then it is now expected to drop tomorrow evening. The Tchefuncte has started to fall, and it's going to expect it to continue to fall. It'll remain in minor flood stage through, you know, at least probably Thursday or so, but it is falling at this point, not going on up. Still river flooding, though. All right, the Pearl is the one that's going to continue to rise and rise and rise. Like it always does, it takes a little bit longer. It'll crest probably late Tuesday into Wednesday. Major flood stage, 18.5 feet is going to be where we see that one crest. And that happens, you know, that's not rare. It certainly has happened in the past couple of years. The Bogachita is also going to continue to rise into Tuesday, and the Tangipahoa near Robert. I just saw some pictures up around the Tangipahoa River, and it's still pretty high. It'll start to drop tomorrow evening more than likely, but it's holding pretty steady at this point, and it is also in moderate flood stage. So that's what we're looking at with our river situation. Now, looking forward and going through the rest of this evening and what we're going to be looking at this afternoon, I want to show you one of our high-resolution models. It's doing a pretty good job, actually, on this batch of rain moving on in. I just got to scroll up and find it. But yeah, what we're getting right now is kind of going to be the case for the rest of today. And I'm going to find this model so we can show it to you. Here we go. And right now we got our batch of rain over us. You can see it there, moving through the area, but just trailing behind it. Here comes some more rain. There's another batch moving on through the afternoon. There might be some breaks here and there later this afternoon, getting closer to sunset. This will allow any of that water to maybe drain off a little bit or keep our rivers from getting too high. And then we continue to see just some showers as we go throughout the rest of the evening and into the overnight hours. Notice this is after midnight. We've still got some rain just kind of training up over us, right? There's a frontal boundary just to the south of us, but you've got this fetch of moisture that's just riding up over us. We've got enough lift that we're going to get some rain. So this will be that continued light to moderate rain. It shouldn't get heavier and heavier, though. That's the good news as we go throughout the rest of today. Now, when does it clear out? That's what everyone wants to know. And it looks like we could have showers in and out all night long. Now, I don't think it'll be heavy all night long. It'll start to get lighter and lighter. By tomorrow morning, this is maybe as you head out the door to go to church or something, 10, 11 o'clock, we've got some sunshine peeking out, it looks like. Now, there's still going to be some clouds, especially near the coast with a few showers. But tomorrow, even if we do see 1 or 2 showers, it's not going to be like what we've been dealing with the past 4 or 5 days. We're not going to see heavy, heavy rain tomorrow. It'll just be more of the variety showers. Not a whole lot to it. Maybe a shower or two late into the evening, and then the clouds look like they'll build back in a little bit more by tomorrow evening and be in and out as we go into Monday. Now, Monday, if we see rainfall, it would likely be just off the coast. The coast is where we're going to hold the rain chances a little bit higher for the next couple of days, but inland it will drop and we'll get some sunshine in here and start to dry out. So our 7-day forecast right now looks pretty good once we get past today. We got sunshine and our temperatures are going to be nice. We got a strong cold front on the way, so maybe a shower or two tomorrow. Monday's looking pretty good other than a coastal shower, maybe a coastal shower Monday night. Tuesday's looking pretty good. We warm up into the upper 70s, and look at this. At least for April standards, this is a good cold front. Highs back into the upper 60s to low 70s on Wednesday. Our morning temperature is a little chilly. 40s on the North Shore, 50s on the South Shore. Look at Thursday morning, 43 on the North Shore, 55 here on the South Shore, and 72 during the afternoon. And then it does look like back on Friday and Saturday of next week, we'll get back into a stormy pattern. Of course, it's April, it storms down here, but we could have some rain once again as we go into the end of the work week and into next weekend. So if you've got plans next Saturday, maybe have a backup just in case. The pattern does look pretty stormy. So let me just recap what we're talking about here before we hop on off here. Just giving you an update on some rain we got moving through. We do have the street flood advisory for the entire metro going down toward Thibodaux, Raceland, and up through St. Charles Parish. That goes until 3 p.m. And so far, no big reports of widespread street flooding. It's just your usual spots. And the reason for that, we've got little downpours embedded, but for the most part, this is some light to moderate rain. But there are some cores in here of some heavier rain. You can see there moving up over Lafourche. That's going to skirt more than likely the West Bank once again. And there's also a little, well, as soon as I say that, they issue a flash flood warning. But it does look like it's mainly for the West Bank and for this little, yeah, okay, so let's see here. So this is going to be a flash flood warning. It's mainly for the West Bank. I think it does include, it includes the New Orleans area, like for the corridor and uptown. It does not include like City Park in that area, but you can see there yeah, so flash flood warning until 4:30 p.m. Reason they issued this. Doppler radar indicated thunderstorms producing heavy rain across the warned area, which is mainly the West Bank. Between 1 to 3 inches of rain have fallen, and flooding is expected to begin shortly. Your street flooding. So if you are on the West Bank, it's really from Belle Chase, Porters down past Chalmette, and down towards Carlisle and Upper Plaquemines here. But it does include portions of the West Bank and right there up to New Orleans and towards Uptown. It does not include Metairie or Kenner. It doesn't include anywhere off to the east of there or west of there, and it doesn't include City Park or Gentilly. But just be mindful of that. Definitely could see maybe increased street flooding where we're getting some of these heavier bands and heavier rounds of rainfall. And as I mentioned, we got another one coming in behind us, so that will sweep over the same area. And as we mentioned, we're just so saturated that it's just not going to take much to get that street flooding. So that is what we're looking at there, as the new flash flood warning goes until 4:30 p.m. Across mainly the West Bank and extreme, kind of right there towards the Quarter, CBD, and Uptown is where is also included in that. But as I showed you earlier, our rainfall totals have been pretty manageable. At least out at the airport, we've only picked up about half an inch to a little over half an inch of rainfall. I want to look at our rainfall totals here in closer to where that flash flood warning is, and we'll see if they're a little bit higher. So you can see there, this is since midnight. Hammond's picked up over 1.5 inches, and the airport's picked up 0.7 of an inch. Same for the lakefront, are right at 0.7 of an inch. Here in the metro, the heavier rain, of course, has been downtown and towards the West Bank. So we've picked up nearly 1 inch at the downtown location. I believe that's a Superdome. And then the Belle Chase side, a little over 1 inch. So we could add another inch or two to that at this point. So that's why they've issued that flash flood warning for portions of the New Orleans metro. But as I mentioned, it does not currently include Metairie and Kenner. You know, we could see additional locations added to that later on, but right now that's what we're looking at with that newest flash flood warning here across the area. So it is 1:28 in the afternoon. We continue to watch the showers move on in. Not going anywhere anytime soon. The rain is going to continue to stream up over us as we go throughout the afternoon. Watch for street flooding. That is our main concern. I will say the severe weather threat is, we're not too terribly concerned with it, but there is a marginal risk of 1 out of 5. So 1 or 2 of these storms might try to produce some gusty winds and some hail. We've had perhaps a little bit of hail in a few of these, like where you see the reds and lots of lightning. That could be producing a little hail, maybe a little bit of hail passing into St. Bernard as well. So kind of this corridor from Cutoff up through the West Bank is where the flooding threat is highest right now. And north of that into New Orleans, Metairie, Kenner, it's a little bit lower because we've got more of a manageable light to moderate rain, and then more rain moving in behind that. And then as I mentioned earlier, we're not done with that just yet. Or once this round moves through, we're not done. We got another fetch of moisture and storms coming in behind it. They've got them lined up back here, and that's just going to continue to stream up from the south and east. So that is the latest as of 1:30 in the afternoon. Of course, if we have any new updates, we'll let you know. If anything too significant comes in, of course, we'll break in on Channel 4 if we have to. Alexandra just came in, so she's going to be taking over for the rest of the afternoon. But for the time being, everyone stay safe, and remember, don't drive through any flooded roadways.